Hey guys, what's up? Tim Queen here, and today we're going to talk about solutions that promise you to tell you who visited your website. What they promise you is that they can identify who visited your website. For example, someone from Microsoft or someone from Google visited your website, and the idea is they could tell you who it was, so you can then start connecting with the person on LinkedIn, find out what they wanted, and kind of push for it that they're going for you instead of one of your competitors. Now, this sounds pretty cool, but actually it's kind of like just throwing money into the fire and burning it without any results. Now, the idea how this is supposed to work is in the past, large corporations used to buy entire ranges of IP addresses, and there is a global directory where you can look up who owns a certain IP address. If you know who owns a certain IP addresses, and if the IP address is then visiting a website, you might be able to tell, oh, someone from this company was visiting my website. But this is in the past when the internet was really young and anyone could buy IP addresses for cheap. Today, IP addresses are rare and they're often shared among different companies. Oftentimes, you wouldn't set up your own internet infrastructure. You would just go to one of your internet service provider and you would buy internet from them, and then they would use their own IP addresses, and then you would see one of the internet provider's IP address, even though a company behind that internet connection might be from any company in the world. So you might think, oh, someone from AT&T is trying to buy my services, but no, it's just someone who's using AT&T as an internet service provider, and this person is visiting a website, so it becomes totally useless. The people who own the IP addresses are often not the people who are using the IP addresses, because they are shared among thousands and thousands of customers who are just buying internet services from them. One last thing, a lot of companies actually don't want to give away this information because they feel this could lead to some competitors finding out information. So I might just use a proxy server or some virtual private network to cloak the IP address. So then it would just look like it comes from a normal internet connection anyway. That means the data quality is totally useless. The IP address doesn't tell you anything about the person or the company. Let me give you an even better example. Just think about all the people working from home. They just use the home internet. So you might have millions of people working for large corporations, and that's the only ones who might ever own their own IP address. Everyone working medium to smaller size company would never have their own IP addresses. So even for the big corporations, millions of people working from home using their home internet provider, you would not be able to tell who is working for which company. It doesn't tell you anything at all. What I'm trying to tell you is the software is completely useless. If you want to know who is visiting your website, you have to do something entirely different. The number one thing that you want to do is you just want to ask them to give you this information by giving them an incentive to share it with you. This could be anything from you having a lead magnet, a white paper, an ebook, a case study, and all they have to do in order to download it, they have to submit their contact information. You can use whatever software you want and just ask them for the specific information. Ask them for their email address. If they use their company email address and you have something at Microsoft.com or Google.com or whatever.com, then you can say, oh, this person seems to work for this company. This is a much better indicator using the email address of someone to find out for what company they're working for. You could even be more explicit and ask them, what is your company name? Or if you're more advanced, you could also build something yourself and then use one of LinkedIn's APIs to log in with their LinkedIn account and then just use their contact information from there. So I found the best solution is really just to use your own simple contact form. Ask them for their contact email address, maybe even ask them for the company they're working for. Some people go a little bit overboard. NANI? They start asking for what is your role title, what is the number of employees, what is your marketing budget, and 10,000 other questions. Don't really do that. That's too much information. This is more likely to prevent someone from submitting the form. So they might think about do I really want to give away all of this information? Some people might not even know this information. Just someone at the lower rank starting to download something, and then you asking them for the department's marketing budget. They just might not know the information. You don't want to discount people like this, because someone at a lower position might be someone doing the research, and then they're pushing this higher up, and then at some point it's going to land in front of a decision maker. So it's really important to make it really simple. I would just recommend sticking with the email address. Most of the time people don't want to use their personal email address to cover up who they're working for, especially if it's for a work-related purpose that they want to download something. So save yourself the money. Don't waste it for some stupid IP addresses. You can just look this up yourself, look through your server logs and see which IP address was requesting any information, and you can just look up each address if you want to, completely for free. To reiterate, only the largest corporations who started early in the game even own IP addresses. Most companies, especially like medium and smaller sized companies, only use internet providers and their shared IP addresses. People working from home and using their own personal internet, so you wouldn't know where they're working. And the much better and much more successful way is just to ask people. Because if you have an attractive value proposition that someone can download, something that is really valuable for them or would help them make a decision in whatever products you're offering, people are more likely to give you this information, and you have a qualified lead because now you actually find the name of the person who is doing the research. It's much more powerful than assuming you know someone from a larger network might have connected to you. So this is the end of today's The Big Marketing Lie series. See you tomorrow with another big marketing lie. Stay tuned and subscribe. I see you in the next one.